You're sure that humans will no longer be in control in 10 years' time?
I think it is unlikely, in the same way that if you had a vastly more, like if the difference in intelligence between AI and humans is vastly greater than the difference in intelligence between AI and chimpanzees, it's hard to imagine that the chimpanzees would be in charge.
I'm really
And
struck
we are
by this.
essentially an evolved form of chimpanzee. So it wasn't that long ago that we were swinging through the trees, eating bananas in the jungle. And we still eat bananas.
We are slowly getting rid of all seeds in fruits and vegetables, because once every grape, watermelon and tomato is seedless, guess who controls life itself? No more planting your own food. Everything you eat will come from our labs, and when the last natural seed is gone, we can make them rare, expensive, maybe even licensed. Every time you pick up a seedless fruit, you're holding a future that can't reproduce. So yeah, expect more seedless everything, because the easiest way to control the world is to stop it from growing.
The secret covenant was created by none other than the Rockefellers, and maybe even someone even higher than them, let's be honest. But this is their secret covenant and their clause of things that they wanted to follow. And if you're a conspiracy theorist or a critical thinker and you're aware of what's been going on in the world, you're going to know exactly how suitable this is. This is written word for word, and I want to read it to you. Okay, so bear with me. The secret covenant, an illusion, it will be so large, so vast, it will escape their perception. Those who will see it will be thought of as insane. We'll create separate fronts to prevent them from seeing the connection between us. We will behave as if we are not connected to keep the illusion alive. Our goal will be accomplished one drop at a time so as to never bring suspicion upon ourselves. This will also prevent them from seeing the changes as they occur. We will always stand above the relative field of their experience, for we know the secrets of the absolute. We will work together always, and we will remain bound by blood and secrecy. Death will come to he who speaks. We will keep their lifespan short and their minds weak while pretending to do the opposite. We will use our knowledge of science and technology in subtle ways so that they will never see what's happening. We will use soft metals, aging accelerators, and sedatives in food and water, also in the air. They will be blanketed by poisons everywhere they turn. The soft metals will cause them to lose their mind. We will promise to find a cure from our many fronts, yet we will feed them more poison. The poisons will be absorbed through their skin and mouths, and they will destroy their minds and reproductive system. From all this, their children will be born dead, and we will conceal this information. The poisons will be hidden in everything that surrounds them and what they drink, eat, breathe, and wear. We must be ingenious in dispensing the poisons, for they can see far. We will teach them that the poisons are good with fun images and musical tones. Those they look up to will help. We will enlist them to push our poisons. They will see our products being used in the film and will grow accustomed to them and will never know their true effect. When they give birth, we will inject poisons into the blood of their children and convince them that it's for their help. We will start early on. When their minds are young, we will target their children with what the children love most, sweet things. When their teeth decay, we will fill them with metals that will kill their mind and steal their future. When their ability to learn has been affected, we will create medicine that will make them sicker and cause other diseases, for which we will create yet more medicine. We will render them docile and weak before us by our power. They will go depressed, slow, and obese. And when they come to us for help, we will give them more poison. We will focus their attention toward money and material goods so they many never connect with their inner self. We will distract them with fornication, external pleasures, and games so that they may never be one with the oneness of it all. Their minds will belong to us, and they will do as we say. If they refuse, we shall find ways to implement mind-altering technology into their lives. We will use fear as our weapon. We will establish the governments and establish opposites within. We will own both sides. We will always hide our objective but carry out our plan. They will perform the labor for us, and we shall prosper from their toil. Our families will never mix with theirs. Our blood must be always pure, for it is the way. We will make them kill each other when it suits us. We will keep them separated from the oneness by dogma and religion. We will control all aspects of their lives and tell them what to think and how. We will grow them kindly and gently, letting them think that they are guiding themselves. We will foment animosity between them through our factions. When a light shall shine among them, we shall extinguish it by ridicule or death, whichever suits it best. We will make them rip each other's hearts apart and kill their own children. We will accomplish this by using hate as our ally, anger as our friend. The hate will blind them totally, and never shall they see that from their conflicts we emerge as their rulers. They will be busy killing each other. They will bathe in their own blood and kill their neighbors for as long as we see fit. We will benefit greatly from this, for they will not see us, for they cannot see us. We will continue to prosper from their wars and their deaths. They shall repeat this over and over until our ultimate goal is accomplished. We will continue to make them live in fear and anger through images and sounds. We will use all the tools we have to accomplish this. The tools will be provided by their labor. We will make them hate themselves and their neighbors. We will always hide the divine truth from them. They were all one. That they were all one. This they must never know. They must never know that a man's color is an illusion. They must always think that they are not equal. Drop by drop, we will advance our goal. We will take over their land, resources, and wealth to exercise total control over them. We will deceive them into accepting laws that will steal the little freedom they will have. We will establish a money system that will imprison them forever, keeping them and their children in debt. When they shall band together, we will accuse them of crimes and present a different story to the world, for we shall own all the media. We will use our media to control the flow of information and their sentiment in our favor. When they shall rise up against us, we will crush them like insects, for they are less than that. They will be helpless to do anything, for they will have no weapons. We will recruit some of their own to carry out our plans. We will promise them eternal life, but eternal life they will never have, for they are not us. The recruits will be called initiates and will be indoctrinated to believe false rites of the passage to their higher realms. Members of these groups will think that they are one with us, never knowing the truth. They must never learn this truth, for they will turn against us. For their work, they will be rewarded with earthly things and great titles, but never will they become immortal and join us. Never will they receive the light and travel the stars. They will never reach their higher realms, for the killing of their own kind will prevent passage to the realm of enlightenment. This they will never know. The truth will be hidden in their face, so close they will not be able to focus on it until it's too late. Oh yes, so grand the illusion of freedom will be that they will never know that they are our slaves. When all is in place, the reality we will have created for them will own them. This reality will be their prison. They will live in self-delusion. When our goal is accomplished, a new era of domination will begin. Their minds will be bound by their beliefs, the beliefs we have established from time. But if they ever find out they are our equal, we shall perish. This they must never know. If they ever find out that together they can vanquish us, they will take action. They must never ever find out what we have done, for if they do, we shall have no place to run, for it will be easy to see who we are once the veil has fallen. Our actions will have revealed who we are, and they will hunt us down, and no person shall give us shelter. This is the secret covenant by which we shall live the rest of our present and future lives, for this reality will transcend many generations and lifespans. This is a secret covenant. This is why it's so important to learn about this, because when you learn about this, you create a life outside of the system. When you're aware of it, you can no longer be controlled. When you know what they want to do, you no longer fall into the traps from health, money, empowerment, purpose, higher vibrations, the music that you're listening to, the food that you're eating, the things that you're consumed with, the video games, the porn. All of this is all a distraction to keep you easily controlled. And once you know, when you change that, exactly like they said, they fear it.
All right, Shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah Bahasham Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at GMS. Peace, honor, and respect to you brothers that's out there laboring, edifying, rightly dividing the word in truth and sincerity. Shalom to you believers out there at the Aki and Wa'agwath. And you've seen in the beginning the montage I put together. And man, we just got to get out of here. And you know what? I find myself saying this a lot. You know, we just got to get out of here, man. We got to get out of this age. We got to get out of this eon. All right, we got to get out of this man's world. All right, the world of Esau. Not just Babylon the Great. We got to get out of Babylon the Great, but we got to get out of the whole thing, man. It's just not about Babylon the Great. You know what I'm saying? Because you can go to another country and Babylon's still influencing that country. It's still evils that's going to be present. So we just got to get out of this age. That's why Second Edger 6. And why do we got to get out? Because, Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. All right. This is why we got to get out of here. This is why you find yourself stressed out. You find yourself, if you have a dis-ease, you wake up, your knees bad. You wake up the next day, you're bad, your back bad, something going on. You got a bad cough, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? You working all these hours, and you stressed, and you still just barely making ends meet. You still gotta, finesse your finances per se. to make it. You gotta be, you gotta be doing things, and you working 2 jobs. You working a job, you got a side hustle, and you still ain't, you know what I'm saying? You still ain't getting it how you really, So it's like, this is why, because the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and that's for a time. It's for a season. So when you go to second Esdras 6, starting at verse 7, it says, Then answered I and said, What shall be the pardon of asunder of times? All right. Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob held first the heel of Esau. For Esau, the so-called white man, is the end of the world, and Jacob, you Negroes, Latinos, and natives, is the beginning of it that follows. So we need to get the heck out of this world, man, out of the age of Esau and into the world of Jacob. And it's coming, but, hey, we mere mortals, man. We be hastening. All right, like Esdras, our forefather Esdras, he was hastening. He was asking. That's why he asking this question. He was hastening. All right, so Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, that brings eternal immortality, bring righteousness. All right, it bring peace, it bring rest, real foods. You see how my man talk about the seedless. You got seedless grapes, seedless watermelons. I remember when I was a kid, when you ain't had that. You just had fruit and it had seeds. Hey, you had to spit the seeds out, and that was it. You might cut up a watermelon. You might take the seeds out. Your grapes, you eat them. You had to watch out for the seeds. But now it's seedless. You see what I'm saying? And it's this devil. You see Elon Musk. They on there talking about AI could go rogue and humans ain't going to have control. Now, why the hell would you create something that can take control? That's because these are the wicked. And you notice all of these, what they got in common, they all pasty face ass Edomites, man. Because that's who is controlling when the Lord come, Esau will be in power. Who in power? The so-called white man. All right. The stronghold is Babylon the Great, aka America. But who has the best military? Russia and America. China don't have China is in there somewhere, but let's say Russia and America came together and all the EU nations, China wouldn't have a chance. Okay, China wouldn't have a chance. The Koreans wouldn't have a chance. Iran wouldn't have a chance. All of these nations that surround, who they got to surround themselves around? Russia, the Edomites. So you need another Edomite to cling on to defeat another Edomite. And then Yahweh Shah really just going to take them all down. All right. That's who the crown was given to when he came conquering to conquer, roughly paraphrasing. But we got to get out of here, man. Let me get that look. Because I put it up in the GNT. 2 Esdras 6 and 9, it says Esau represents the end of this age, and Jacob represents the beginning of the new age. The new age under Jacob gonna be pure peace, man. All right, pure peace. It ain't gonna be you ain't gonna wake up and your hand hurting. You know what I'm saying? You start walking and your knees popping. It ain't gonna be no more of that. You gotta do a 12-hour shift. You gotta do that for 5 days a week, and you just paying your rent. Nah, man. Cause see, the thing about it, let's go to Genesis. Let's go to the humble beginnings. When you go to Genesis 27, where the blessings were given out, because this devil, he sold his birthright. Then he got tricked basically out of it. But in the spirit, it was always meant for us. It was always meant for Jacob. Don't nothing happen without the Lord. Everything was planned before the foundations of the world. So you already knew that Jacob already had it. Genesis 27 and 39, it says, And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. All right, and right now he does have these things. Now in different commentaries, they talk about him being away from the fatness and not having dew of heaven, right? In different commentaries. Well, you got to think about something, though. Under Esau right now, he really don't have the strength of the earth. That's why he got to have GMO foods. And that's because he's adverse to the scriptures, because it's laws on maintaining the land, like having a Sabbath for the land, and the Lord would multiply and make sure, I believe, what was that, in the 7th year, that you would have food for the 7th, 8th, all the way up to the 9th year, basically. So when you able to start back planting and doing all your thing, you still gonna have food from, but when you gave the land a Sabbath. All right, I haven't read it in some time, but I can remember. You know what I'm saying? So, this devil, he's not going to follow that. He's just going to take, and take. He going to run it down. That's what Esau do. He run things down. He run you down at your job. He have you doing 8 things, and, he don't hire more people. What's called, they short-staffed. Yeah, that's under this devil. Always. There's always somebody that's short-staffed, It'll be more men. You hire extra man or two, and things can get done efficiently and done right. But he'll have you just doing it and expect perfection. No. You get what you pay for, per se. Genesis 27:40, it says, "And by thy sword shall thou live, and shall serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off his neck." Now, that's going into something else, but the point, and by thy sword shall thou live, right? And it's many different forms of the sword. You have a literal sword where you can cut somebody, a knife. Then you have the gun, missiles. You have what? GMO foods, processed foods, all of these diseases that they put out here, per se, or I'm gonna say these like the V word, all right, that they put out here, like the C109, other things that they put out here. They poison the food, they poison the air, they poison the water. That's a form of the sword. All the way down to, again, a missile, a bomb, a grenade. Now, I brought this on a lesson I ain't gonna say years ago, but some time ago. I went to the Bible Hub commentary on Genesis 27:40, right? Now, when you go to the pulpit, because it talks about Esau. Now, check this out. It says, "And by thy sword shalt thou live." Literally, upon thy sword shall thou be, i.e., thy maintenance shall depend on thy sword. And you already know, if you look up, matter of fact, let's do it. Let me do this. Since America's inception, how long have they been at war? So, check this out. Depending on how you define war, the United States have been involved in military conflicts for roughly 90 to 93% of its history. About 225 to 230 of its 250 years. That's how long this devil's been at war, man. They've been at war 90 to 93%. That lets you know right there. That lets you know. This is who you dealing with, the Edomites. So in the commentary, it tells you. In the pulpit commentary, it says, "Thy maintenance shall depend on thy sword," a prediction that Esau's descendants should be a warlike and tumultuous people of predatory habits. This is the Edomites. They go all around the planet with the sword, using the sword, rape, rob, and murder, and they get what they want. They take the resources and suck it up for themselves, and the people of that land, they get little to no rewards. All right. And they do that a lot of time. They do it all over though. But they do it, when they do it in these in these Israelite lands, like they just did in Venezuela, Mexico, all over, right? That's a part of our curses, man. That's a part of the curses for us, man. But this devil does it to even his own people, or just some of the other heathen. All right. He'll go out there and suck up their resources and, reap all the benefits, man. This is why we got to get out of here, man. We got to get out of here. Okay. And I thought that was, now when you go to, let's go here. I'm gonna get this in the GNT. This is Sirach 10, right? Starting at verse 1. It says, a wise ruler will educate his people. Even just like now, the education system is so much flawed. It's worse than when I was in school. You know, they're gonna have AI teaching kids. All right. Everything is on a computer. We had to go through books. You see what I'm saying? We had to go in the dictionary. Now you got Google. I mean, and the resources is pretty cool, but sometimes a kid just need a good old fashioned book. Like search out what you need. Learn how to search out what you need instead of that quick fix. That's why a lot of these newer generations, they don't have it. They might be more technologically savvy, but far as like the social skills and other skills, it's not there. You see what I'm saying? Like we had, like how we were in generations before us. All right, we had to actually go in encyclopedias. You had to go to a library, use a computer. I remember those days. You had to read and really go through the book. You had to read it or know how to comb through and things of that nature. All right. So, and then you have the No Child Left Behind. So now a child failing and he automatically get to go to the next level. It's like, no, this is why they producing these dumbass kids. Point blank period. A lot of them, they don't have it, man. When you talk to a lot of these younger generations, they don't have the same social skills, number one, and it just don't be all the way there a lot of times. It says a wise ruler will educate his people, and his government will be orderly. And the governments all over the globe is disorderly, especially here in America under Esau rule is disorderly. Why? Because they disorderly. All the officials and all the citizens will be like their ruler, and that's why we got to get out of here, because the rulers are some damn degenerates. So the people is degenerate. Every generation get more degenerate because the rulers are degenerate. That's what they put out. All right. That's what they put out. It says an uneducated king will ruin his people. And that's what has happened every year, every, half decade, every 20 years. Well, it keep getting worse and worse all the way around. Because we are with an uneducated king, man. Meaning he's wise to do evil, but he's adverse to the scriptures. So his wisdom is folly, man. It says an uneducated king will ruin his people, but a government will grow strong if its rulers are wise. And we don't have these wise. They wise to do evil, but not good. All right, a brother said a long time ago, Jake is micro-Edomites. That's why Jake do what Esau do, but on a lower level. Esau does it over the planet. Jake might be in his hood, a city, couple cities. But Esau does this on a higher level. And see, that's why when you jump down, I'm going to get this back in the KJV, when you jump down to Ecclesiasticus. And this is why, man, we got this unwise ruler, man. All right, this wicked ruler. That's why you might find yourself like, man, we got to get out of here. I'm tired of this, It says what? Ecclesiasticus 10 and verse 8 says what? Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another, from Esau to Jacob. That's what's going to happen because of what? Unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit. It tell you in Revelation that when he was loose to what? Deceive the people. When you jump down to verse 10, it says what? The physician cut off a long disease. What's that long disease? These Edomites and the rest of you heathens. And he that is today a king, tomorrow shall die. So Esau is the king today. But tomorrow, meaning a new world, he's going to be out of there. He's going to be in chains. He's going to be in captivity where he belongs until you eradicate it. Along with the rest of you other nations. The other heathens won't be eradicated, but you going to be under that lot of slavery as well. Because you got to get, you unrighteous as well. Y'all got all them damn false gods and all of the shit y'all do. Y'all micro Edomites as well. Even though them Edomites put hell on y'all too a lot of times. And a lot of times y'all don't want to deal with them. Or you might have certain things that's better than how this man go about his business, but y'all wicked as hell too. All y'all. You see what I'm saying? So this is what we waiting on. We waiting on the physician, which is Yahweh Shai, to cut off that lung disease. Esau is that lung disease. Now, when in the covenant, the secret covenant, you know, it was a little lengthy, about 6-7 minutes, right? Going into it. And at the end, the lady said, let me get it.
You change that exactly. Together they can vanquish us. They will take action. They must never ever find out what we have done. For if they do, we shall have no place to run, for it will be easy to see who we are once the veil has fallen.
Yeah, and the Lord made Esau bare. That's how we see who they is. But we waiting on the Lord to take action. Because humanity per se is not going to rise up against this devil. Esau is meant to rule for a time period. It's going to be Yahweh Shai that's going to take him out of power. It's going to be Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai that's going to take him out of power. Until the Mexicans and the blacks and the Chinese and other Edomites and the Arabs, we not going to all come together and kumbaya and then put these devils out of power. That's not how it's going to happen. Okay?
Actions will have revealed who we are, and they will hunt us down, and no person shall give us shelter. This is the secret covenant by which we shall live the rest of our present and future lives, for this reality will transcend many generations and lifespans. This is a secret covenant. This is why it's so important to learn about this, because when you learn about this, you create a life outside of the system. When you're aware of it, you can no longer be controlled. When you know what they want to do, you no longer fall into the traps from health, money, empowerment, purpose, higher vibrations, the music that you're listening to, the food that you're eating, the things that you're consumed with, the video games, the porn. All of this is all a distraction to keep you easily controlled.
And that's true. The music, the porn, the this, the that, the food, all of that, it keeps us on a low vibration. And Esau knows this. And this is why he has a heavy target on the tribes, man. That's why we got to get up out of here. Now I want to read this. Because, see, the scriptures tell us what was written for aforetime was meant for our learning, roughly paraphrasing. Now, when you go to the book, and I'm going to end out with this. This is going to just hit home right here. When you go to Judith, the 5th chapter, what do it say? Judith 5, starting at verse 1. It says, Then was it declared to Holofernes, the chief captain of the army of Assur, that the children of Israel had prepared for war and had shut up the passages of the hill country and had fortified all the tops of the high hills and had laid impediments in the Champagne countries, wherewith he was very angry, and called all the princes of Moab and the captains of Ammon and all the governments of the sea coast. And he said unto them, Tell me now, ye sons of Canaan, who this people is that dwelleth in the hill country, and what are the cities that they inhabit, and what is the multitude of their army, and wherein is their power and strength, and what king is set over them, or captain of their army, and why have they determined not to come and meet me more than all the inhabitants of the west? Then said Achior, the captain of all the sons of Ammon, Let my Lord hear a word from the mouth of thy servant, and I will declare unto thee the truth concerning this people, which dwelleth near thee, and inhabiteth the hill countries, and there shall no lie come out of the mouth of thy servant. This people are descended of the Chaldeans, and they sojourned heretofore in Mesopotamia, because they would not follow the gods of their fathers, which were in the land of Chaldea. Okay? For they left the way of their ancestors and worshiped the God, the power of heaven, the power whom they knew. All right? So they cast them out from the face of their gods, and they fled into Mesopotamia and sojourned there many days. This is going into how Israel came about, all right? Then their power commanded them to depart from the place where they sojourned and to go into the land of Canaan, where they dwelt and were increased with gold and silver and with very much cattle. That's telling the story how Abraham was took out, and kept going all the way to Moses, all the way to when we, into the land, man. And these, they know the history, and the elites know our history. This is why we're target so heavy, man. This is why. They know our history. We don't know it. I mean, not saying us brothers and sisters in the truth. I'm saying a lot of our people don't know this. This is why we continue to get got. It says, verse 10, but when a famine covered all the land of Canaan, they went down into Egypt and sojourned there while they were nourished and became there a great multitude so that one could not number their nation. Right, going all the way to Egypt. Therefore, the king of Egypt rose up against them and dealt subtly with them and brought them low with labor and brick and made them slaves. That's all the way. Remember when they said, when the Egyptian king, the new Pharaoh said what? Get rid of the boys, we got to stop them, roughly paraphrasing. Basically, they got to stop us from procreating, or we'll become a strong nation and rise up against them. This is going into the history. And they know the history. And guess what? Again, the elites, I'm sounding like a broken record, but the elites know, man. Verse 12, then they cried unto their power, and he smote all the land of Egypt with incurable plagues. So the Egyptian cast them out of their sight, and the power dried up, and the Most High dried up the Red Sea. So basically he's saying, and their power dried the Red Sea before them, and brought them to Mount Sinai and Kadesh Barnea, and cast forth all that dwelt in the wilderness. So they dwelt in the land of the Amorites, and they destroyed by their strength all of Heshbon, and passing over Jordan, they possessed all the hill country. And they cast forth before them the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, and the Shechemites, and all the Girgasites. And they dwelt in that country many days. And while they sinned not before their power, they prospered. Let's get it again. And while they sinned not before their power, they prospered, because the power that hated iniquity was with them. And so this is why Esau put all these stumbling blocks in front of us. Pork, porn, how the rap music is, all of what she was going into, all of these things, man. He put these stumbling blocks for everybody, but we the main target because of this. Because they know we'll be prosperous if we don't sin. Verse 18, but when they departed from the way which he had pointed them, they were destroyed in many battles very sore, and were led captives into a land that was not theirs, and the temple of their power was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemies. Right, and that's leading all the way up to the day. We went on those slave ships because what? We departed away. All right, so, that's pretty much the point, man. We got to get up out of here. And it's coming soon, man. You know what I'm saying? Lord willing, we just be the first fruits. All right, until the next lesson. Shalom.